Earlier this month, I thought I was going blind. I was at the optometrist and the doctor performed a series of tests on me to check my eyesight. Now, admittedly, I don't have 20/20 vision, but on this one particular test, it was as if I couldn't see anything. He turned on an overhead projector, which I haven't seen since K through 12, so that was a nice dose of nostalgia. Nonetheless, he placed an image on the screen and instructed me to stand in the back of the room. He then asked what I saw. I answered, "A rope." He told me to be more specific. I responded with, "A rope, with round lines on it in a particular pattern." I mentioned the texture in overlapping fashion, but was then met with silence. I looked over at the doctor and his assistant as they stared at me with a queer eye. No pun intended. He ushered me closer to the front of the room and asked me again, "What do you see now?" I shrugged before repeating the lines, pattern, and white spaces between. The doctor looked bewildered, and it was then that I started second-guessing myself. Was I going blind, or was I already blind? Were my eyes playing tricks on me? I looked and looked, but what more was there to see? Were they seeing something completely different than me? I hesitated as the doctor gestured to the picture. He finally asked, "You don't see two circles?" I turned to the picture again, confused. "Yeah, those are the ropes overlapping each other. I could see them the whole time." The doctor and his assistant exchanged uneasy glances, like they couldn't believe me, like they didn't believe me. He goes on to tell me that most people just say they see two circles on top of each other. Simple, obvious, big picture, the right answer. He shooed me out of the room and surmised that I'm just more into the details, and that kind of stuck with me. That day, not only did I get a new glasses prescription, but I got a new perspective on life. Food for thought to ponder. I've always been cognizant that I'm different, though. I got called Oreo growing up, and even recently by a stranger. The way I walk, the way I talk, the way I dress. Apparently, I'm different than the rest. Funny enough, when I'm in my element in the classroom, I always tell my students that no one can write exactly like you. No one can do anything the same as you. No one can replicate your existence. So if I take my own advice, then technically, I am one of a kind. But is that a good thing all the time? Constantly ostracized, a whale amongst sharks, all with sharp teeth, a marker in a crayon box seldom used for coloring, a dog at a dog park with a cone on its head, an HOA neighborhood where one house is fine for being painted red, the classic kid picked last in gym who was met with disappointed teammates and embarrassing shame for only wanting to fit in. Dear God, where's the fine line between wanting community and self-acceptance? Perhaps it's in the introspective, the space where man experiences comfortability and peace. This space embodies like minds seeking to embrace its own. Too often I've sought haven in communities that weren't welcoming, but not because they were inherently evil, but because they fit me like oversized jeans. And I would rather bite glass than conform a single part of me. I'd rather bend scrap metal with my teeth than dim the little girl inside of me. I am a wave of eccentric electricity meant to strike down on earth. This world wouldn't be a world without my voice. I am all that is magic and moving and magnificently magnanimous. I am home to the Milky Way, which ignites my spirit to shine within my odyssey. I break ground for all that is new to me, like tiramisu and beef Wellington. The precedent starts with wherever I land my feet. No, I'm not blind. I just spot texture where most find shape. I've come to appreciate my vision since that's what makes me, me. No one can see quite like me. Therefore, I would never trade my eyes, even for another person's 20/20. Sorry. I love mine. Comment down below what this poem made you feel, and subscribe for more poetry from D and Chris.